let's break the silence for a bit and let's discuss how deep this safe is. Is it actually down here? Because honestly, I don't want to be here any more than I need to. Did you hear me? Oh, that's a shark.
Recently, I was browsing around on Steam, just minding my own business, looking for something new, and surely enough, I have something new for you guys. Now, this is not anything astronomical as far as having a new concept or playing a title with a new gameplay system, but despite all that, this game is very immersive, and let me get this out of the way now before I neglect it. The animation in this game is phenomenal and probably the best one I have yet seen in the semi-survival game. Now, why do I say semi? Well, this is a horror survival game, so not your stereotypical go out and explore type of game, although there is open-ish mode available once you're done with the main storyline, I guess. It still feels a bit linear, to say the very least. So what do you do in the game? The concept is very simple, and I'm sure something you've already experienced before, or if not, at least you've heard of it. You join a session and begin exploring. Your task is to search for a hidden treasure, which is used to upgrade your weapons and your gear. Meanwhile, maintain your oxygen and keep your ammo in check. Obviously, once oxygen runs out, you take critical damage and you die. Basically, oxygen is very important in our day-to-day lives, unless you're a mermaid-looking guy. Then I guess this doesn't apply to you. Which leads to my next point, enemies. So you deal with your stereotypical wildlife under black water, or at least what you would expect in those waters. And on top of that, you have these mermaid-looking guys that really don't like you being there to begin with. And they will try and do anything they can to make sure that your humankind doesn't go out exploring in their home. Then of course you have sharks. Now sharks can be calm and collected as long as you leave them alone. However, any wrongdoing from you could aggravate them and they will come after you at that point. On top of that, you have other minor life forms present as well, and those guys also get in the way if you're not careful and decide to get in their way. Death in the Water 2 does everything a good horror survival should do, which is keeping you looking in places you typically don't look and yelling nearly every aggressive encounter. Every shot you make and every ammunition you spend is crucial and critical for your level completion or even survival. Finding the ammo boxes can get very challenging and stressful, especially for your first couple of hours playing the game. Because of the nature of the game and where this horror survival title is taking place, you can't just simply go gun blazing. Sure, you can at some point unlock really cool gear and very impactful weapons, but even then, your shot has to be precise and carefully planned. If the distance between you and your threat isn't exactly on point, the shots you make could be easily wasted and pointless. At that point, you might as well just shoot it in the air, or in this case, into the open water. The water pressure, just like in real life, plays a huge factor when you shoot underwater, therefore it becomes extremely challenging to eliminate your threat if it's not precisely timed. If the movement system is extremely realistic and every time you make a turn, it takes time for you and your gun to be readjusted with a little delay. So let's get to the pros and cons. The animation and immersion in this game is beautiful and simply just perfect. The art design is gorgeous and extremely realistic, especially if you're playing on really good build. Although the game doesn't weigh a lot in terms of memory, it is very demanding on your system to be fully enjoyed. All those textures and high detail lighting and shadows require quite a strong computer, I'll be honest with you. I tried playing around with my settings and seeing how much of an impact it would make in terms of optimization, and honestly, the second you start lowballing too much, the game loses its beauty and doesn't feel nearly as special as it did before. Although myself, I always prefer performance over resolution, and almost every time I play a game or I lay my hands on it, it is more than likely played in performance. Now, with that being said, I must say, Death in Water 2 has got to be played in resolution because otherwise it doesn't look nearly as good as it would on the high settings. As a matter of fact, the second you turn your settings to low or even medium, it loses its realism quite significantly, and honestly, it looks pretty rough. But it's always a double-edged sword because playing this on high settings really makes your computer run hot, and it utilizes my GPU at 96% at 76 degrees, and I really don't like that. I hope this game undergoes some major optimization because playing this was incredibly fun, but man was I sweating in my studio. Also, I forgot to mention, but it seems like the game has a timer set, and every time it runs out, you hear a huge terrifying noise coming from the distance, and it does alert every enemy around you, giving away your position, and that's when the game gets scary and very unpredictable. Once you survive that final wave, you take everything you've collected throughout the gameplay, and that's when it takes you to the main screen where you can buy the goods and upgrade your gear, and you basically repeat the process all over again. I will be providing an extra copy of this game, so in order for you to win, all you have to do is just make sure that you're subscribed and just make a comment down below with your Discord username, and I will randomly just and privately message you the key. So good luck out there, and this was your boy Roos, and I'm out. Goodbye.